Welcome to Biggest Geekus. We're your hosts. I'm Randy.
I'm Joe.
This is episode 97 of our show. The date is Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. Dude, I'm beat. You said you were too. I am tired today, but we're going to make it happen.
Well, I work outside as a mailman.
Oh,
We'll say letter carrier because mailman is a weird word because you're saying the same thing twice. Mailman. There's no men or male. I mean,
no.
It's weird. It's a weird word.
Mail.
The way it sounds, of course, you'd understand it if you were looking at the word. In any event, it was 90s yesterday and today. Today, though, seemed worse. I think it was more humidity. But yeah, and you had a lot going on in your house.
Oh, gosh. We finally got the flooring in and got the furniture back in. Part of the flooring's not quite done in the hallway, but yeah, we're doing good. Martinson's here. Legion's in. Let's see here. Who else? Larry's here. Darthiak. Man, we got a gang building up. That's pretty sweet.
A gang, yes.
A gang, baby. Yeah. So didn't do any gaming, needless to say. But I am in a couple of days because taking Biggest Geekus on the road to Madison, Wisconsin this weekend. Little VentureCon action. I got two slots, Friday and Saturday slot, 10 to 2. And Tim Scott's in the house. Welcome, Tim. And I'm excited about that. We'll see how it goes. Should be an interesting first convention. Probably small, but hey, that's all right. He's a mailman too. I'm a super mailman.
Tim Scott says he's a mailman, but he's really being redundant there.
Yes.
Some of us would say that's a little more manly than you actually are.
Oh, I wouldn't. Tim is all kinds of man.
I am joking.
Joe never jokes, Tim. He doesn't like you. He told me. Oh, man.
It's because you're a home brewer.
No, he does. He does make brew at home. He does.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm jealous. I'd like to be able to do something like that. Have a production of some kind. I mean, I've got this one thing going. This little thing.
Right. You're starting, dude. You're being techno wizardry PDF master.
Well, I'll be filing for
bankruptcy.
What's called DBA. Doing business as.
Nice.
Instead of an LLC, because that is the advice
of
a lawyer, a CPA, and another businessman online who talks about these sorts of things. LLCs are good for some things, but what we're doing with Big Geek Emporium, it's not like there's no office workers, there's no physical interaction with the real world. It's all digital. So there are some concerns, like if someone decides to want to pull a fast one and throw some illegal content up on our server, I think that the way the law works, if they want to be really stick up their butt about it, they could make a case. But the good thing is the server does not reside in my home. So
perfect.
Yeah.
It is out in the ether.
Well, until we get a dedicated server, we're using a shared server. So if they have to arrest anybody, they arrest everybody.
Nice. I'll be arrested too. Perfect.
It'd be the hosting company, though, not me. So.
Oh, good. We don't care. Tee. So yeah, but I wrote my adventure. We wrote it for the third time. I'm going to have the guys that I'm rooming with. They're going to run it Thursday night. They're going to go old school. They're going to play 2 characters apiece. I'm going to see how it goes. So,
okie dokie. Yeah, Legion of Myth says, I was told sole proprietor LLC kept me better protected monetarily than a DBA. Maybe it's state by state. Well, all but one of these folks are all here in Michigan. The other fellow lives in Texas. And he said an LLC is, unless you definitely need the liability protection it affords, then, and I'm talking to a lawyer on Thursday, so we're going to go over a few things, including how much it costs to have him around, probably more than I would like. It's
We'll have to look at that, yeah. But you got the deep pockets of a math teacher, so
yeah.
dude. So speaking of Texas, what about Eric July? Did we talk about ISOM #1?
No, I don't think we did.
Dude, is he like 2.6 million?
Yeah.
Like 50.
The last I saw,
yeah.
he's
That's
got
awesome.
2 months of his campaign.
Mhm.
I don't think it's gonna. It's possible if he brings out stretch goals and more,
Mhm.
a more variety of paraphernalia for his comic company.
Mhm.
But I think the fandom rallied at the very beginning, and it's probably just going to sail on. It might get up 4.
I'll be shocked. Mr. Max Bovin is in. Hello, bud. But I'll be shocked if he breaks 3. I'll believe it. But I don't imagine he's going to go too far past 3 million. He might though. Who knows? He's got the buzz. I really hope I hope it's good because I'm not. If I don't like the comic, I'm out.
Oh yeah. You have to. It has to be good.
And that's why I didn't buy. I didn't do any of the kick in for any of the paraphernalia. I'm like, I don't know if I like any of these people yet. So
right.
I have some faith.
I like Eric.
I like Eric, so it'll probably be cool.
Yeah. The art looks fine. It's I don't know if Of course, we've only seen a couple of pictures.
It doesn't look fabulous, but it looks solid. 90.
It looks solid.
It looks like 90s comics art, which is what he said.
Yeah.
Which I always liked. Got me back into comics. I've already Green Apple. If you're going to pick it up, you might want to get in the little crowdfunding. Is it going to be on the stands? Can you pick it up on the stands? Is that what he's talking about?
No, that's what I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
Oh, man, you got time. You got like 50, 60 days. 60
I mean, you're not going to get issue number. You're not going to get the original cover.
No.
The first run cover.
Which one did you pick? 1A, 1B, or did you do 1C?
A.
Is A the one where it's him, or the one with the? I didn't like the one with the girl as much.
Oh, that's a very popular one, apparently.
Yeah, I picked the other one. Yeah. I don't mind good looking chick, but I was just the rest of it looked better. I think the other one looked better, but it's okay. Marston, 90s comics, big shoulders, small feet. Yeah, was that a oh god, what's his name from Image? Started Image, one of the Image, Todd McFarlane. Is that a McFarlane thing? And Jim.
Oh yeah, that's true. I never knew that. It never dawned on me. But now that you say, I'm like, oh yeah, obviously feet are de-emphasized because.
Yeah, Green Apple's going to order it. He's been dropping some large cash recently. He said so. That's good.
I don't know if the subsequent print runs are going to be a different price. Knowing Eric, I think they're all $35 for just getting the book itself.
Yeah,
I don't think any of the other print runs have. I haven't looked at it all in a couple of days.
I'll pay $50 for him to sign it. That's fine. Whatever.
I don't want him touching it.
Right, it's too precious. Get your fingers off. What are you doing? Touching your own book.
Right.
All right. Shall we jump into
that kind of stuff is just never important to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
any other thoughts? Go ahead.
When we're about 10 years older, we'll probably the signature one will probably worth $1 billion.
Probably not.
But that $1 billion will get you like a milkshake or something.
Correct.
Like that.
Right.
Yeah. Going at the rate we're going now.
I'll be able to buy my daily cup of Soylent Green by then.
Right. Soylent.
Yeah, so back to the t-shirt. Our buddy Patrick did this. This is the front shirt. I don't know. Tell me if you can see this. I'm going to do the back too. Is that even showing? Probably not.
No, you're too high. No. You're making it worse.
I'm making it worse.
You're making it much worse. Nobody.
No one needs to see that.
No.
So anyway, but it says, our little sign-off thing can't be big like this.
Yeah. For those on audio only, Patrick, our friend, made a T-shirt for. I'm not going to VentureCon, but I got one anyway because I am who I am. I am who I is, and there's a new. He spruced up the logo I made, and it's going to end up getting posted somewhere. Not sure where exactly.
I'm going to be I'm going to be pushing it and pimping Big Geek Emporium at VentureCon, and so I'm hoping we'll have enough guys to really maybe help us out a little bit. But it's going to be a small con. It'll be fun though. It's something to do.
Right. So we don't have any new folks in the chat, but if there are any new folks listening that are not participating in the chat that joined recently, we got 7 new followers on our Twitter account.
Sweet.
Just today. So if any of you are out there listening and don't know about Big Geek Emporium, go to biggeekemporium.com and you'll see all the stuff. I wonder, what is the name of the proprietor of an emporium? An emperor?
I like that. That's good. Let's go with that.
Randy's butt. What is this? OnlyFans. Nobody wants that.
I don't know, dude. If this Big Geek Emporium goes, I may have to start an OnlyFans to watch Randy roll dice.
Yeah, because anything else would actually lose customers.
It would. Oh, baby. Yeah.
Alrighty. So all that's being said, we're going to dive into
Let's do it.
the thing.
Big topic today is alignment, redux. We're going to tackle this idea again. What I wanted to do, Joe, is not just talk about the alignment, what's your favorite alignment system, but the idea of alignment. A little bit of where it came from, and then a little bit of where it's at and kind of where we think it goes. Kill Raven in the house. So before we get started, a definition. This is what I found on the Google search. Alignment is a categorization of the ethical and moral perspectives of player characters, non-player characters, and creatures. That was a D&D Google search. So a categorization. That's fine. Huh?
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Of the ethical
It's a broad overview.
Now, we had a couple, and Joe's had all these in the links and stuff, at the show notes and stuff. But you get to read those articles on Grognardia about the sort of the beginnings of alignment. They were basically when they used alignment in OD&D, because it was based off war games, it was really not meant to be anything remotely restrictive or proscriptive. If you were law, you basically sided on the side of good. If you were chaos, you sided on the side of roughly evil. And if you were neutral, you kind of were mercenary and did your own thing. And it was meant to be connected. So I guess there were ideas like that in chainmail, because that's where they got the alignment piece from. Just law, chaos, and neutrality. It doesn't seem like, to me, reading the old book, it meant much of anything to anyone.
Right. There wasn't even paladins then, right?
Yeah, no. You're looking at the big, cleric, fighter. Well, actually, there's no thieves. Cleric,
Not at the beginning. No.
fighter, elf, and dwarf and halfling. That was it. So they came later on. But my point was, it just didn't seem to mean much of anything.
Right. It was even more broader defined than what you just read. It was just team law, team chaos, and then everybody else was neutral and can just float around.
Yeah. So anyway, did you get to read the article? There's another one about Tolkien, Moorcock, and Anderson. I think the article seemed to say that Tolkien was the main alignment guy, was the motivator for alignment more in D&D later on, like AD&D 1E and Beckme. But honestly, I thought Moorcock had a much stronger play in that.
Yeah, I really didn't get a chance to read anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, the author, I know very little about Paul.
But I've heard all these stories about about how Moorcock was influenced, and then how Moorcock influenced D&D, however much he did.
Yeah, so there's a very, here, let me see if I can do some sharing. It's a dangerous thing, I know.
Sharing is caring.
Yep. Share my screen. When I go, is that shared yet? No.
No, it's not. There we go.
That's not what I want to share, though. I want to share this. How do I switch that? Shoot, Randy. Joe cannot let me do stuff like this.
What are you trying to share?
I'm trying to share the story of how J.R. Tolkien. I'm going to do it again. Give me a second.
Which article?
The J.R. Tolkien one. I'm doing it. Give me a second. I got to make it happen. I don't know what. Window, Chrome tab. share. That does it. So I think everybody's seen those. Those are just a little alignment meme we've seen before. You've got neutral good. God, who is that?
Ah, there it is.
Yeah, those. That's not the point. They talk right here. I don't know how well you guys can see this. Maybe I should make it a little bigger. Ooh. Talking about Tolkien, the good and evil axis, and that may have had some effect on it. I thought was interesting though was the Paul Anderson comment down here. I wanted to find this. He wrote a lot about chaos versus law and said the heroes joined the forces of law who are led by the Roman Catholic Church. This is in Paul Anderson's writings. I know little to nothing about it. 3 Hearts and 3 Lions, I think, is one of his bigger ones. The forces of chaos were driven by witches and trolls and fairies. So that combination, I can see that because witches and trolls, I would say automatically are evil, but fairies I wouldn't call evil. Would you?
It depends on which legend you're talking about. If more
Right,
Norse, the more Norse or the more Nordic you get, the more evil they get.
Yes, and also if you're doing like Nordic, so you're talking if you do Winterfell and all that other stuff, that sometimes gets a little bit.
And considering the Nordic influences in Tolkien, that makes sense.
Ooh,
Although,
what's up, man? I've not seen Aaron's name in the list. Glad he's here. But I thought this article was kind of interesting, and then it brings up Moorcock and the Law of Chaos. I mean, he had his anti-heroes, which is what Elric definitely was, and all the sort of eternal champions. And then he starts talking about. I just don't get why he's putting so much emphasis on.
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
The folks that are watching, you're giving them Tourette's.
Oh, am I? What am I doing?
I do the same thing. You're moving the screen up. You're
too fast.
You're scrolling a lot.
Yes.
And no one can follow what.
Gotcha.
No one can read it. No one can actually read it.
Okay, give me a second then. Move it up. I'll leave it right here. I'll make it bigger. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I'm driving.
So Paul Anderson, I may have read a novel of his.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of him today because I was trying to find something that I remember. Clerics Wear Ringmail, Taylor over there.
Yeah, Taylor.
They had some discussion of alignment not long ago. He did with a guest, and I was trying to find that particular episode. Taylor, when you listen to this, and I know you will, when you listen to this, there is a game system that has an alignment ranking an alignment ranking system. And I cannot for life of me remember what it was referred to in that episode, but it's a scale 3 + 3 -3.
Oh, okay.
And then you go between it depending on your actions. And as long as you don't go too close to like say you're good, as long as you don't stray too far off good, you stay good. So you got like -0.5 or a +0.5 to 3. It's all good.
Okay.
But if you drop off of that +0.5, you become neutral. You might even become evil, depending on what you're doing. But I can't remember the name of the system. So.
Oh, Mr. Max Boivin says, "What do you think of this statement? Non-neutral alignment are compromised." What's that? Are you sure that's what you mean?
I'm not sure what that means.
Non-neutral alignment are compromised. I'm not sure what that means. Huh.
Don't know.
Anyway, yeah, what can you do? But so I'll say this much. I do think the article's fair that I could see the influences of Paul Anderson, Moorcock for sure, and then Tolkien a little bit, sure, absolutely, in D&D. And so you end up with, at least I can move this slowly here. Let's find where they kind of bring chainmail in. There you get your infamous, 9-part alignment. And so that's kind of, most people when they think D&D, I think the 9 alignments, don't you?
Yeah, that's what we played more from AD&D forward than we did the prior editions for sure. That's probably why.
Yeah, and 1E, 2E, and 3E all had the 9 alignments. 4E was kind of weird. I thought it was kind of weird how they, well, no shock, right? They had good, lawful good, evil, chaotic evil, and unaligned. That's weird.
They took the neutral off of the alignments except for the true or the unaligned. The true neutral unaligned.
Yeah, and I believe they didn't want PCs. They said explicitly PCs should not be evil, and I'm okay with that. I personally don't want that in my game, generally speaking. CBK Ply says Dragonlance book had a law neutral chaos scale chart. It didn't have good. I thought for sure it was because that was both 1E. That was all the editions of early D&D.
Well, law is supposed to be good because non-law is bad, apparently. I mean, depending.
I do like the idea of unaligned, though neutral fits that bill for me. I have no problem with animals being neutral or unaligned, either one. I don't know how it really matters. Neutral to me is you do what you have to do sometimes, and you don't look to make your life harder than it needs to be, but you get what you have to get, and so and it's just not to your advantage to be overly cruel, and it's not to your advantage to be overly kind. So unless most of the time, so you're kind of like I do what's good for me for the most part. Now, I'm not necessarily I don't think a neutral person's necessarily completely selfish, but they're like, I got to watch out for me.
Well, the problem is this. I mean, I like alignment systems, but if you're thinking about them a little too hard, they break down. And here's one way. Most human beings prefer order.
Yep.
Now, where the order comes from is generally the question. Is it order that's closer to them or order that they look to on high to get? So earthly order. So do they prefer to be told what to do and they'll do it? Or do they prefer to march by their own drumbeat, which doesn't make them chaotic. It just means the order that they follow is their own. Yes. Or maybe a small group. Maybe they're in a gang or some kind of club, secret club nobody knows about or whatever. They all prefer order, which law kind of implies order. So I would prefer you say light and darkness than law and chaos. Good and evil's fine too. Right. Because you can be good, and this is the kind of thing that you get in trouble with paladins or people who look at law and look at it too literally and say, well, I'm in a new town, I'm going to follow the laws here. Well, what if the law says you shoot your neighbor? Right. Everybody shoots their neighbor, or free. It's when the noon bell strikes, everybody goes crazy, and then 2 hours later they go back to normal. There was some kind of Star Trek thing like that where they had a town where everybody went nuts at a particular time of day, and then after that they were fairly normal folks.
They held nothing against anybody that did something to them.
I can't remember all the details, but they had a kind of order. But I wouldn't.
Max says Paladin Purge Planet. So Paladins get to get their evil on for 1 hour per day. You can do evil. Yeah, that purge stuff. I don't. I mean, that was funny, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. I mean, do people really like? I've been good all the time. Of course, everybody. Let's put good in quotations. Now I got to get all evil and stuff. We're gonna bring that up, Mr. Aaron. He says, I don't like using alignments. I like having the characters portray their characters how they want, and everyone around them perceives them based on their actions. Well, yeah, that's what's going to happen. So that's right. That's fair. That's a fair take. We'll get to that in a minute. That's kind of where I want to conclude at. And really, first, second, third, and fifth all did the alignments pretty much the same.
Right. Nerdy Ogre, any game system that has an alignment system should spell out what is expected from each alignment. Failing that, the GM spells it out. I agree. That's why. That's why Palladium's is. I know in D&D they spell it out, but there's kind of wiggle room in all of the definitions, and there's a history with people just not doing that thing. Yeah. In whatever it says in the alignment, they don't do that. So they'll say, I'm chaotic good. What does that mean? Whatever's good for me.
Yeah. So
No.
no, not whatever's good for you. No, that's people have their own interpretation. I think Nerdy Ogres are spot on. If you're going to use it, if the book wants to use it, tell us what it is. And now,
Yes.
if you're going to be vague, then the DM's got to clarify. Yeah, well, let's kind of come back to that question, because something that D&D has always done with alignments is they've connected them to the planes. Whether you use the Great Wheel or the most recent one, the World Axis, that started in 4E. Is 5E World Axis cosmology? Does anyone know? Is 5E a World Axis cosmology?
It's definitely not one I know.
Well, it's got two approaches. So let me find.
No, what I mean is I don't know if fifth edition does that.
Right.
I got sent a link here.
Oh, cool.
It's another Grognardia article. I'm going to put that in private chat so you can take a look.
Okay.
It is about alignment, so it is topical.
Oh. Don't see it.
Tracking, alignment tracking.
Oh, yes. That's the thing too. Yeah, alignment tracking.
Well, actually, the OD&D planes, that kind of quadrant thing that the other Grognardia article.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a tracking system itself, right? Because you can fall kind of somewhere in there, and then the DM can move you around in that box, depending on what you do, or to a different box. Isn't that what that was for? I know there was a version of this in one of the DMGs. Not the one you're looking at, but the one that's linked in the not the show notes, the outline that you sent me. It's the old OD Planes, old D&D Planes article from Grognardia. You're muted.
I am muted again. Sorry. Yeah, I saw that. The World Axis, I want to actually share that one. The World Axis one, just so we can see it. I'm assuming everyone knows the Great Wheel, but that's a dangerous thing to assume. Let me see here. So let me scoot that. Trying not to cause any kind of Tourette's.
You're going to.
I did it anyway.
Yeah, probably.
But there's the World Axis. So starting with that, the idea is you have the planes here, and they're divided in like one above and one below. I believe it's I guess I better just read it because I don't want to drive people crazy. You're split in two axes, the astral dominions and the elemental chaos. So what's below is the elemental chaos, and what's above. And the world tree model was abandoned in favor of the world axis. And I don't know. It's fine. Do whatever you want. I know.
What are those three?
I think they
spheres?
are.
Because it looks like a heaven-hell paradigm.
Right, but it's more like, it says it's the elemental chaos is below, astral dominions above.
Yeah, same but different, man.
The three across, hemisphere above and below. I'm trying to get Shadowfell. That all I don't know the whole Feywild, and then the prime material plane.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
considering those are all. This is 5th edition, right?
Well, it started with 4th. I don't know if it's
all those words sound familiar.
Yeah,
from hearing people talk about 5th edition, the Feywild and Shadowfell and all this stuff, elemental chaos. Yeah, but I mean, it's a star-filled sky above and kind of hellfire below. Yeah.
Larry Allen asked a good questions. What about changing your alignment depending on how your character feels that session? We call that chaotic insane.
Yeah. We'll say, hand me your character sheet because now you're an NPC.
Yeah.
Thurston Howell had a comment earlier. Hey gang, has anyone ever heard of alignment tendencies? For example, chaotic neutral with good tendencies. That was in the monster manual a lot, from what I remember. That wasn't a player thing.
No,
that was an NPC and monster thing.
But I fully adopted that, especially during the heyday of Planescape. There was a lot of creatures,
sure.
lawful neutral with good tendencies. I've always liked that. I think it lets you give more to the character. A guy that's basically orderly and believes in balance, but he kind of likes the good side better. Lawful neutral with good tendencies, but depends how much you want to get. Nerdy Ogre makes a comment that I think is interesting. I don't know if I agree with it. He says his observation is that people play. Well, I have to agree with it. It's his observation, so I'm not going to say whether I agree or not. It's irrelevant. Play 1 of 3 alignments: murder, hobo, evil, chaotic, stupid. Oh gosh, I hate that alignment. Annoying, good. I've seen those. I can say I've seen those.
So, sure. Murder, hobo, evil is pretty prevalent.
Yeah, and I used
chaotic,
to play
stupid is too.
Well, annoyingly good though. Like some people will be like, I played a lot of paladins, and they would say, "Well, you're annoyingly good." I've heard them would think that, but it's not like I try to like not let anybody have fun. But I do believe that as a lawful good person, you have to be good, and I think you should probably approach kindness. Oh, what's this?
Patrick Demo says, "I'm in alignment fluid, trans chaotic, 2-spirit, Lego morph Therian."
Oh no,
I don't know what Lego or Lago morph LAGOMORP
or Therian is.
A Therian. I've heard that. I can't remember where it's from. Is that from John Carter of Mars? Therian. But I don't know Lego morph.
Yes, Max. Chaotic game disruptor. Yep, had a lot of those.
I'm a lone wolf. I do what I want.
And I've had I got a good player. I won't name names. What is that? Do what I want. So I got a player. He's a good player, but man, as a DM, if you let things drag too much, meaning you're not moving the scenes along and the player's just kind of meandering, he'll turn on chaotic disruptor in a heartbeat. But I understand it. So because it gets annoying if the DM doesn't keep the game rolling. But that's not his general way to play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just for everybody's information, in case you didn't already know, I listened to a couple of evolutionary biologists the other day.
Yeah.
Because I do that in my off time.
Well, yeah, why not?
And 2-spirit is not a thing.
What does it even mean?
It's made up completely.
Yeah, most of it is.
Well, someone's digging through Native American or no, these were Canadians. So it was indigenous cultures looking for any tiny little thing they can grasp onto to make them queer or whatever.
Oh, please.
And if you are, who cares? But if you either are or not, you don't need to superimpose your thing on people, and that's what ended up happening apparently. Anyway, way off topic.
Aaron, we're assuming your alignment. We're assuming it's lawful good.
A lot of people think that it's real, and they put that after their name in Twitter, in their Twitter bio, 2-spirit.
What about this one, dude? Check out Iron Man. What's up, man? He's one of our dudes. Judges Guild city-state setting of invincible overlord. The overlord ruler of the city-state was lawful evil with good tendencies. He would do
good things if it furthered his interest. That's phony good. That's not actual
not
good.
Really good. It might help out
phony.
People, but the end effect is he's getting a big benefit from it.
That's being a poser.
It's definitely not altruistic, and I think that's one of the key elements in my mind of what good is. But anyway.
Trans chaotics are chaotics, according to Pat. Pat, so you haven't answered my question.
Yeah, what's
what in the hell is Lego morph?
Yeah.
Please.
Person that plays Legos? No, Legos LEG. LEG, not LEG. Lagomorph.
And is it Lago or is it Lego?
Ooh, better not be Lego. That'd be LE, right?
Well, A is pronounced A or Ah, so anyway.
Back to my question. So you got that new World Axis thing, and you got the old Great Wheel. I love that you've seen the map I have. It has all the. They have called. What are they called? Not portal towns, gate towns.
Gate towns. Yes.
Each one of the planes of. I like that. I like thinking of it that way. It kind of doesn't matter though, because the organization of your planar structure, you're passing between worlds. Who really cares? Do you think that was a good idea to tie those alignments to planes? That Elysium is neutral good, whereas the seven heavens is lawful good.
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's interesting, but sometimes it's like, well, it's a little. It's like whatever intelligent design person, you know, in the world of D&D decided that that's how things were laid out. That was a super anal dude. We're going to put these alignments in boxes all around the outside. And,
yeah, I mean, and if you connect to the Planescape stuff, I mean, before Planescape, those were really just words to me, and the planes didn't mean anything because it was like if it wasn't heaven or hell, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I don't know what Elysium was versus what Asgard, and it's like I get there's probably a difference, but whatever. But it is kind of weird to think everybody on this plane is neutral good, every single person, because I believe it in the way the Planescape defined it. If you cast a no alignment on someone from Elysium, whether they were a petitioner, a servant of a god, or an animal that lived on that plane, they would come off as neutral good, which is kind of weird. You got a bear that's neutral good, even though he's eating people. So, but anyway, so yeah, I don't think that was ever necessary. Part of me loves the idea of sword and sorcery, where the different planes and worlds would just be fantastically different. Potentially all the laws of the universe.
That's a Lego morph.
Oh, okay.
For people listening in, it's a bunny rabbit.
Oh, Killraven was trying to answer the stupid question.
He said a bunny. It's a bunny. It's a bunny. I was like, no, it's not. But yeah.
He's probably going to punch us right in our nuts, dude. We were just ignoring the crap out of him.
I have no defense at this point. I'm tired.
No, I'm just saying do it and get it over with. So anyway.
Except don't.
Yeah, don't. Do it, but don't. Say you did, and we'll back you up. Just don't actually do it. So we're getting into the alignment thing. What about characters? Paladins have to be lawful good. Didn't barbarians use that? Was that third edition?
It had to be chaotic something.
Yeah, non-lawful in first edition.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, non-lawful.
Yeah,
which
was what? Some part was neutral.
Right.
Is that what it was?
What? Yeah, some part of the Druids alignment. Well, initially it was true neutral, I believe, if I'm not.
For the thief?
For the thief. Oh, sorry. They had to be non-good early on. Druids had to be true neutral, and then they relaxed that in third edition. Just they had to have a neutral component, I think.
Dude, Bruce has got it. Bruce says, been here listening. Good effing show. Right on.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah. Hey, Matt Barniger, what's up, man? Oh, Killraven, I kind of dig this. I like that. He says, Killraven says, I like the concept that the outer planes coalesced over time around the ideas that mortals were having. Yeah, that's not bad. Mm-hmm. But do you like, I know you and I both love the Paladin class because we love the idea of a holy, lawful, good knight trying to save the world. Do you like tying alignment to classes like that? If a barbarian ever becomes lawful, he loses all his barbarian powers.
It makes sense for divinely empowered characters of one sort or another, or infernally powered characters. So if you or what if a necromancer went from evil? Most of them are evil, if not all of them. They should be mess with dead things. If a demon summoner suddenly became a good guy, I don't think he'd be able to do what he was doing before. It just wouldn't work. So, and a paladin who's gone to the dark side he's switched allegiances, so he has to seek whatever power he wants elsewhere, like Darth Vader did.
Oh, Jesse T asked a question. Maybe they just said, why was alignment placed in the game in the first place? I'm pretty sure it was just to set up which creatures, like OD&D originally did it because they were building armies, right? And Chainmail did it, and so they didn't want you to have trolls aligning with dwarves because they wouldn't. So trolls were on the side of chaos, dwarves were on the side of law, and elves were initially on the side of law as well.
Yeah, it is all about
The original idea. It's developed over time, Jesse. Though.
yeah. So it's just teams. Early on, it was teams, and developed into philosophies, and then it developed into a planar structure.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of don't like the coalescing from mortal thoughts thing, because you can't coalesce the reality out of things that don't exist yet. So if you mean early humans thoughts coalesced the outer planes or that the cosmology, that's one thing. But if all in the multiverse was coalesced out of mortal thinking, then that wouldn't work, because you'd have to exist first.
I'm guessing his premise was there are lawful evil people, and so over time, the outer planes, the stuff of the outer planes,
So the cosmology coalesces, yeah,
morphed itself because all those beliefs. That's very planescapey. All the beliefs form the nine hells, and
right.
devils were born. I mean, that's okay. It's a highly mythological, fantastical development.
Sure.
It's okay in a D&D world.
And it lends to how anthropomorphic the powers are. So the closer to humanity the powers are, the less inscrutable they are, the more understandable or likable or all that. It lends more to a cosmology that is coalesced out of humanity itself instead of the other way around.
Yeah, Killraven, outer planes are born of ideas, inner planes from matter. That's very much the Planescape way. That's the Planescape way. But back to the characters thing. So tracking alignment, that was a good thing, that Grignardi article, and just in general, that was always the thing you were asked to do in AD&D. What do you think of the old way they used to have mechanical benefits and drawbacks tied to keeping your alignment? I mean, it used to be for everybody. If you shifted alignment, you lost XP, right?
Yes, there was a rule for that. You would lose some, though not. I'm not sure how much, but yeah, there is a potential for losing experience. Yeah, because
do you like that idea or not? Is it too hard? As a DM, I found it frustrating. Initially, I tracked you guys, but it got old after a while.
I think that it's a mechanism to keep you, not necessarily to constrain your behavior necessarily, but more to, was that tone from your end or mine?
Yes.
Your end. So I think it's more to govern players down, not necessarily the straight and narrow, but being consistent. So if I have a character that I portray as being heroic, yet every once in a while I'm like, I'm going to do something not heroic,
right?
Then you get dinged for it, because you're acting contrary to what your character would likely do. So it's a way to keep. It's a way to enforce consistent play. Probably.
That's this one
way to look at it.
Yeah, if you don't mind, because this is important. Thurston, now way you said that, Joe, connects to this. Thurston Howell IV said, so people would actually role play. Otherwise, you're an avatar in a video game with dice. I don't know if that's true, but I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you can have exactly what Joe was talking about. You know, have some dude. We had that all the time. Well, I'm good, but all of a sudden I got a wild hair at my butt. I'm going to kill everybody in the tavern, like I would do.
Right. All the time.
All the time. Yeah. Chaos.
Who wants to listen to some uppity bartender? You kill them and then you have all the beer. So that's the way it went down when we were 15.
Do you think it should be punished, the alignment change then? Do you think if you're going to use alignment, should there be punishment then if you change?
I'd say definitely, if there is, it needs to be understood by everybody
and spelled out clearly.
Yeah.
Because it was frustrating as a DM. And like, what if you go from chaotic neutral to just neutral? That's a weird thing to punish somebody for.
For doing what?
To go from chaotic neutral to neutral. If you're using the
So
9 arguments.
I would, if you stayed within an ethical sphere, like good, if you're still good, and maybe you got a wild hair up your butt and you decided to disobey the law for a good reason, then
Right.
there's really no good reason to penalize them. But
Right.
if you went out of your ethical sphere,
Yeah.
I mean, you could. It probably just depends on the circumstances.
So yeah.
Hold on. We must break for Patrick Demo.
Okay, let's pause.
Sorry, guys, watching this at work, trying to troubleshoot technical issues while on the phone with IT. No excuse.
Watch us always. Focus.
You
Eyes
have
up
to
here.
prioritize your life correctly. And if Biggest Geekus is not priority in your life, you're doing life wrong.
Dude, here's a thing, Mr. Boivin. Look at this. Should the players know their real alignment, they can tell you what they think their characters are, but the GM can keep the tabs on what they're. Oh, I don't know if I don't want that. That sounds like an argument.
Oh, okay. So I was just listening to. I've been listening to a bit of Jordan Peterson this week and over the weekend. And some people have a propensity to lie to themselves.
Yes.
So it makes them better able to lie to everybody. So I can understand. I can understand what he's saying, because sometimes we lie to ourselves. We think we're good guys, and then somebody points out, "Look at all these things you've done. How can you call yourself a good guy?"
Look what Boivin said.
No, you're wrong.
I think he's awesome.
Chaotic might apply somewhat, but only because he's always thinking on his feet, and sometimes it seems like he's scattered, and he probably is. But I think his intentions are good.
Yeah. T-shirt.
Just like everybody, just like most people, our intentions in our own mind seem good. Yeah. And he does seem like he wants to help people.
I don't think he says stuff that's even remotely evil.
No. Okay, I bet I get why. I bet I get why he thinks chaotic evil, perhaps. It depends on if he's Orthodox. If he's an Orthodox person, or maybe super Catholic, Jordan Peterson can come off as a bad guy because he tries to secularize Christianity a bit.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Okay, so T-shirt Historian, which we will also break for here, asks, Biggest Geekus, how goes the Emporium? Well, we've determined that proprietor of the Emporium is called the Emperor, so that's me. So, haha. You and Randy coming to the show Saturday to talk about it. I'm going to.
Dude.
Yeah, Randy's going to be out of town.
I'll be at AdventureCon, baby. Running adventures.
So you, sir, are tasked with pictures that we can post.
Yes.
So
that's right, pictures. Dang.
I thought that was going to be Sunday, but Saturday's fine. It'll have to be after work because I am working. I don't know what time you would want to do that, but DM me on Twitter and we'll work it out.
Let's see. Jesse T got a good couple questions here. Should alignment be controlled by the GM for creatures and bad guys and never applied to the characters? As in, the GM should build the game to give moral choices to players in the form of a story.
If that's what you want to do, I don't know if it's a should. Moral quandaries kind of drive me a little bonkers, depending on, because the moral quandary requires the DM have his head on straight morally. If you're throwing a moral quandary at me, you better have a proper moral quandary. Otherwise, if what you might think is a moral quandary might not be. It has to be pretty much smacking you over the head with a 2x4.
I was trying to save it to the end, but I'm going to say it now. My idea is I like good and evil. I like good and evil, to be clear. I don't care if we use lawful, chaotic, whatever. He's super Catholic.
Super
Okay.
Catholic. Yeah, I get
Okay.
that.
There you go. So it bothers you.
He's also been kind of olive branching Muslims, but only in so much as trying to say, hey, you don't need to be bad. So
Yeah, I like. I like good and evil. I like good characters. I don't want characters to be. I'm unaligned. I can do whatever I want at the moment. I don't want that. I don't want characters that act good one session and evil the next. That's just crazy town.
no, but being on a line doesn't mean you necessarily that's what you do.
No, I'm not saying unaligned.
On a line means more like we were saying earlier, mercenary. So
that's
whatever
fine.
seems good at the moment, or whatever seems expedient. Good isn't the right word in this.
If that's your dude, then that's your dude. But I don't want you to profess to be a good holy guy, and then for a couple of sessions, and you do something crazy evil. So yeah, I mean, we have to be careful. I mean, yeah, this is a tough one to do in the game, and I'm not sure I want to do this. What does make Mr. Max Boivin says? What does make someone evil? How far do you have to go? Small lies, gatekeeping people from the truth, aligning with them on bad paths that might seem good but are bad in the long run. I like it simple, dude. I think lying would be evil, but I think characters could do it without being like, in the D&D world, there is no. They don't seem to want to. I mean, I don't want to lay down the biblical definition of good. Then we got a lot of evil people in the game.
Yeah. D&D is at its best when good and evil are treated as tangible things in the world, and some things are inherently evil and other inherently good. I agree with that. I agree. And Max Boivin, are all sinners evil? Sin is. And okay, so I believe we are waxing theologic here.
Yeah, we are. We're heading toward that, which I'm fine with, but I don't think we want to do it in this podcast.
Right. So, I mean, this is a theologic in the real world, kind of. And we're talking about alignment, which is a caricature or archetypal structure that fuzzily represents what some people think the real world is.
Yeah, I'm not sure about moral quandaries in general. Larry asks, Larry, didn't mean to do something evil. I was drunk and acting out of character. Well, yeah, okay. That's possible. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, the King Priest of Istar, says Max, Dragonlance was lawful evil. He thought he was good. I don't want to go into what he thinks. This is the trap of many of the righteous. Try to tell that to someone in real life, even in a game, causes fights. Religious is not equal to good. Well, that's true.
Not necessarily, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, at the expense of not getting super theological in the real world here and sticking to alignments in games, when we and this is a problem I think with modern games, especially modern D&D, is they forget or they ignore or don't know that most of what D&D is an archetype.
Yeah.
The things that D&D were built on are archetypes, and it's better for us to use archetypes and try not to hit things too solidly on the nose.
I'm not inclined to use moral relativism in my game.
Right. So it's better for the game, like who was it? Killraven, when he said tangible. It's better that it's a tangible, recognizable, indistinguishable thing. But when we do stuff like, witches can be good, drow can be good,
orcs can be good.
Orcs can be good. When we step away from the archetypes that these things represent, it's and everything's kind of fluid. Then alignment starts really in good and evil, all that stuff kind of doesn't mean anything. If every creature on the face of your fantasy planet has the same capacity for good and evil, um, why isn't everybody just getting along anyway?
Max says, "What is equal? What does Mrs. and Mr. Boivin? What does equal to good? We can agree on the very big ones: murder, rape, theft. But is that all? I think in the game, I don't want to go beyond that. I don't want to start parsing. Otherwise, we're going to get into my theology, which is fine, and then people are going to find that Randy thinks lots of things are evil. Biblically speaking, lots of things we do are evil.
Right.
I mean, I'm not
Well,
saying we're
lots
evil.
of things we do are sin.
That's what I'm saying, and therefore. But I don't want to go down that road. That sounds too harsh. This is one that sometimes T-shirt. This kind of rubs me the wrong way. Not you in particular. Oh, you got something.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was going to hit T-shirts because this is what we got last week or a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry, I'm doing them awful fast. No evil person ever thinks of themselves as evil. Everyone is the hero of their own story, but also you are a villain in someone else's story. It's subjectivity. That's what I don't want to see in a game.
And I don't actually believe that's.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed for a paladin who's done the honorable thing and good thing his whole life to be considered evil. I mean, you might be mad at him because he did something. Oh, he cut my grandfather's head off. Yeah, but your grandfather was a freaking horse thief. I don't know what to tell you.
I think they don't care.
Correct.
Saying that they think they're good, no, they don't care. They do what they do because it's expedient for them at the time. They might look at the world's conception of good and evil and say, I'm not doing that. But it's not I'm a good guy thing. Not some people may be, especially folks that become dictators, but do it to at least outwardly, their rhetoric is to bring peace or to unite everybody forcibly in the point of a gun or a sword or whatever. Yeah. But your run-of-the-mill kind of douchebag just doesn't care. You're muted.
I am muted once again. Kill Raven made a good little point here too. He said that can be true. Some guys are just evil and they love it. True. Some aren't.
I mean, what John Wayne Gacy?
Yep.
I think he knew full well what he was.
And he was evil. I agree. I think he did and didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, Max is bringing up what's illegitimate here is commonplace. Except you can go down that road, but I mean, it's commonplace to have slaves here, so it's okay. It doesn't make it good.
Right.
So, not in my mind, and not in my game is what I'm saying. In my game, slavery is going to be evil. I mean, you can have it. Indentured servitude, maybe not, but slavery, yeah, it's going to be an evil thing. If I'm going to have, if you want to have no alignment, and which I tend not to play a lot of alignment. I don't worry about. I don't like the no alignment spell. What do you think about all the alignment spells and stuff like that? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Oh, here it comes.
Goblin children.
Yeah, Darth mentioned that too.
If
Den of Goblins. Yep.
If in your world goblins are per se essentially evil, then their progeny is. The problem is we don't depict them out as that. So when we go into a lair full of goblins and there's their children, they look like little kids and they're all cooing and blah, 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 blah. Me, you got, what's it called? The parody of Star Trek Galaxy Quest, right? Yeah. Those little baby looking aliens, they were about yay big, maybe a little bit bigger, looked like small children. They were cute until you got close to them, and then they were piranha on 2 feet. That's goblin children or orc children. Maybe a variation of that. Unless the goblin's essence isn't evil. If it's not that they are essentially evil, maybe you can rescue their children and they'll become something else. They have their own path to follow. It depends on your world.
Yeah.
If you're going strictly by old school D&D definitions, goblins are evil. They're not anything else. Such all those monstrous humanoids, they're per se, essentially born evil.
Oh, Killraven and I, dude, we're in the same wavelength. I only ever had no alignment or tech evil or whatever Work on this. Yeah, I hated the whole work on supernaturally evil beings. I hated the paladin walks from the bar, detects evil in everybody. Oh, you're evil. I'm going to arrest you. That's weird. It's just weird. I'm eating lunch, dude. Why am I evil now? I mean, why are you able to detect that? I think you should be able to detect evil intent at the time. I'm not much for like just plainer stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
Right. So, what if you treat your slaves well?
Yeah, Max brought that up.
Sure. What if you treat your slaves well? Is forcing them to live under your roof, and if they go away, they run away, and now they are subject to the death penalty. Is that treating people well?
Well, I mean, the children of Israel had to go down the Bible route. When they defeated some people, it was slavery or death.
Sure.
And I mean, they had rules for that, and there were some rules that were pretty harsh. But I mean, that's how life was tough back then. That's a different world.
But it probably would depend on a lot of circumstances. So if you were kidnapped from your family by the slaveholders and held against your will, I don't care how well you're treated within your gilded cage, you've still been kidnapped. You still have being held against your will. So you're not being treated well in a very fundamental way.
Yeah, Max, was a good question. Do you see those moral quandaries as interesting gaming material, or that something you'd rather avoid in the game? I would like it if I was running a Planescape game. I think it lends itself to moral quandaries and to weird questions of beliefs and stuff. In a general D&D game, probably not. Probably not. I mean, you can do what you want. I would lean away from that.
It depends. It's a hook. It's a hook, not a trap. So Princess is kidnapped. So there's a very low-level quandary there, but it's a hook. You ignore it, and if you say you're a good guy, the DM's going to scratch his head. But for a pile of characters who are purporting to be rescuers and good people and righting wrongs and blah, 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 all that stuff, you set a kidnapped anybody in front of them, they're going to want to go get them.
Right.
So you can call that a moral quandary, or you can just say that's an adventure hook. Now,
I would say never is a strong word, but unlikely.
Huh?
I think never is a strong word for me to answer Max's question about what's right and what's wrong. Never is a strong word. I've done it, but it seems tough to do that too much. I don't want them always having to have a big debate about what's good and what's bad. Oh, then Max.
That can get tedious. Max Boivin says, I love having my players debate how they should act and discuss about what's right or wrong. That can get really tedious. If it's like a couple of, we should do this because it's the right thing to do. And they're like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Let's go do it. If it's about that fast, then yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of,
Max hits it on the head. The problem with moral quandary games is people have differing beliefs.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier.
Cause too many arguments. Yeah, I think it can. With the right group, it could be fun.
If you have a bunch of people at your table, like we have, like we always brag about, where we're not robots of each other, but we know how each other tick, and we get along well. If there's a question about whether we're going to do something as a group, as a player group, it usually doesn't. The discussion is usually very short.
Yes.
And moral quandaries. I mean, what kind of moral? Goblin babies is not a moral quandary. That to me, that's there's a word I'm looking for. You have purposefully crafted something to trip up the players. Because unless you've established something in your game that sows doubt into the idea of essentially evil monsters, that's not a moral quandary.
Yeah.
And so if you've established that goblins are essentially evil from birth, not a moral quandary, kill the babies. Okay? They're monsters.
You're playing Pathfinder, you got goblin characters in the group.
It's a different story.
Maybe
So it's still not a moral quandary because we know goblins can be good. So if your players don't have any frame of reference to operate from, then what they do, you might be able to say, if they told the story of what they did one way or the other in the tavern or whatever, and the people around them were shocked by what they did, then perhaps you haven't conveyed your world to your players very well.
This is interesting. Patrick made a comment a while back. I always liked evil having a tangible effect on the character. Me too. Like Legend of the Five Rings Taint score, or Warhammer Corruption, even Lord of the Rings Shadow. Yeah, you could have a shadow score. It's a supernatural effect. I think that's, or like doing the dark side in Star Wars. It affects how you act from then on.
Right.
And you have a harder time acting like a good person.
And remember, everybody's different at their table. So while we disagree maybe with how precisely we look at alignment amongst us here, that doesn't mean I'm saying you're doing it wrong. That just means I prefer a certain type of game.
And that's strong, though. That's a strong way to do it. Even T-shirt agrees with it. I think that might be superior to alignment. If you had a corruption effect as you did evil things and build up corruption points. Yeah. His T-shirt says, actually,
it's just another way of doing alignment.
Yeah, but it's
just a different take.
It's basically just evil that you keep track of. Do whatever you want,
But I would say also that if you're going to track evil having a tangible effect, you probably should track good having a tangible effect as well. So T-shirt says, actually, I really support a tangible metric for evil, and I think it's a superior idea to alignment per se. Corruption, taint, blight, shadow, whatever you want to call it. And it's a part 2. So you make evil spells only accessible to characters with a certain amount of corruption metrics. That is a superior way to concrete definitions of good and evil. Yeah, and I would have a similar effect with good. Perhaps fortunate things happen around you. You're only someone who's so good has access to certain good spells.
I think good characters should be, if you want to do a little temptation, throw them an evil spell.
Yeah. See what they do.
If you use it, you get corruption points, dude. Can't help you.
Also, it probably depends on the type of world you're running. If you're running a dark aspected campaign, then you don't reward good like that. You make it hard to be good. You're muto.
Yes. Sorry.
So I can get why someone might just want to have the bad corrupt because their world is perhaps a bit gritty.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one thing that's always bugged me. Alignment language. Oh, sorry. Is Legion going to say something? You don't reward doing the right thing. You punish evil. Punish them. I agree.
Well, that's kind of a reward, not getting punished.
Right. Oh, yeah. It's kind of not being killed if you stay my slave. That's good. It's a reward. If you stay my slave, then you'll not get killed. What a reward. But alignment languages. What do you think of that? I got the little article on alignment languages.
Yeah. Okay.
It always bugged the crap out of me.
So I heard Taylor, I'm mentioning him again. So shout out to Taylor of Clerics Wear Ringmail. The way he explained it is a convenient way for folks to communicate and not have to worry about knowing 50 million different languages. Yeah. Folks who are of a particular alignment or philosophical bent can communicate with each other. It may only be rudimentary, but you can. And it depends on, I think, when he was explaining it, the way he perceived it, as two intelligent, good people can communicate.
I agree with Max.
But I still do. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
They're dumb.
But you could look at them as part of the magic of your game, of your world.
Now, to be fair, here I'll give a nod. If you have a world where alignment really matters, like, dude, we're going to play, and your choice of neutrality, law, evil, law, chaos, good, evil is going to matter. And things are lawful good, chaotic evil. I'm not going to do any of that lawful neutral with good tendencies crap. Right. You're going to be this. Everything is that. Everything has an alignment. Even animals, they're neutral. If you want to do that, and alignment's a real thing, and you can detect alignment, and you can know alignment, and you want to do that, then why not?
Yeah. if you give alignment a kind of a magical quality,
Mhm.
then you can have that communication. But it wouldn't be super sophisticated.
No.
It would be, don't kill me. I'm one
Right.
of you.
I'm one of you.
You have some food. What's the way out of here? That kind of stuff.
Oh, is that true, Mr. Max? Well, then, Gygax knew alignment languages were dumb. He kind of walked them back in the 1E DMG, or was that 2? It had to have been 1E because he didn't write the 2E one.
Had to be.
And I agree with Patrick too. The Black Speech of Mordor is the only version of an alignment language that didn't feel stupid. Yeah.
It's a magical and infernal language. Yeah.
Well, T-shirt says it. That's probably what Gygax got it from. The dark
And instead of just leaving it for that, they had to make all of them have that quality.
What are you speaking? Chaotic neutral. That sounds weird. That's supposed to sound weird.
Yeah.
Chaotic, dude.
It's giving me a headache. Shut up.
So in general, I'd say poop on alignment languages. I don't know if I've used them since the early days when we played. Like the first
Now, if you did something like Black Speech of Mordor in your game and gave something like that to like evil, one specific thing, a Mordor type speech, then fine. And maybe you could have a musical peace-inducing good side, a good type of powerful language. But they wouldn't be every good person does that. They wouldn't have the capacity. But yeah. Of course, you have to bring up Thieves' Cant, T-shirt historian.
Thieves' Cant.
Thieves' Cant. That's just their underhanded way of saying, "Yeah, I'm a thief. Yeah, I'm a thief too. Let's go do thief things."
Drow fine language.
Yeah. I heard someone saying, I don't know what podcast I was listening to, but some folks in law enforcement that were gamers or had gamers who had law enforcement friends said that the criminal element definitely has coded language.
Sure.
So it's not like they're using a language where you can't understand their words. They're just using them in a way almost like there was a Bene Gesserit thing in Dune where they had coded language as well, where they could speak out plain and have a regular sounding conversation, but they had a subtext that if you knew how to interpret it, you could communicate. And the Bene Gesserit did that. But they also did that with, they combined that with gestures, and they could control their bodies to such a fine way that they could detect all these things so that they could communicate on a very high level by just talking about the weather. But law enforcement folks say that they definitely have a way of conveying, communicating in a coded way. So that makes sense.
Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division says, "Why aren't you talking about the best alignment system ever?
We haven't got to that yet.
The stunning and brave Palladium system."
They are the bestest.
It is the bestest ever.
The bestest ever.
I kind of like it. Oh.
I think it's I think the way they convey it is a much better way. If you're going to use alignment any granular way, I think the Palladium alignment system is better, especially because that's great English. It's point based in that they say what the name of the alignment is. They give a brief description and then bullet points underneath it saying you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. And they don't all, but most of the alignment entries have a pop culture reference to give you a frame of reference to, and say this is an example of that. And I think it's a much better constructed system.
Yeah, you know what I think though. No, I don't know, because I'm trying to. Because the last question, you saw the notes, Joe. I want us to. can we come to a conclusion on alignment?
Well, we can
Well-
come to a conclusion on what we like.
Right.
So
I
what
like
do you mean?
Palladium, but it's almost isn't. I need to look that up. I have that in there. I have it in the notes, right?
Palladium?
Yeah. Did I do it? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And so
Uh,
as I look at it, I'm not gonna. Gosh, it's pretty. They give you a lot for each alignment, like
Yeah.
yeah, and
it's
so
like a Paladin's code.
yeah, and
So each alignment has a code that's spelled out, and that's fine.
that's fine. Yeah, I could live with that.
I mean, you don't have to memorize it,
Right.
but once you read it a couple of times, you can get the idea. And if you have any questions, you can always have a little card out in front of you saying, what is this? Yeah, questionable maybe. Oh no, this is good. So it might be a little bit too rigid. But I don't see this as rigid.
No.
I see this as probably a little less rigid than the 9 alignment system from D&D.
Yeah. If I was going to play a strong alignment game where it was a big significant part, I might lean toward a modified Palladium view. But in general, if we could kind of wrap this idea up, if we just say, well, what do we like best?
What do we like best about alignment?
Like if we can not just like best, but part of me, I've always wanted to toss it out, but I do think it has value. I like the idea now that we've talked about it. I like good characters. I want the good characters to be heroic. I want them to be generally altruistic, and I want them to care about people. And I want them to be money hungry. I want neutral people to be a little more mercenary, not evil, but kind of want to get paid for their work. And then I want the evil people. I like the idea of a tank that was brought up by Patrick and T-shirt and some others. I think there should be a shadow, a building, a dark force points that where eventually your character gets given over to the dark side.
That would be cool. You need an alignment system to really do that justice, though.
You think so?
And you just need 3 points.
3
Side
points.
of good, side of evil, and unaligned. You just need those.
Yes.
And they would be pretty broad. Most people would fall neutral, I would think.
Yes, I think most would.
At least you wouldn't know one way or another until you interacted with them.
I would like good and evil to be committed.
Yeah, you're committed.
And unaligned or neutral would be like, yeah, because here's the deal. Good is mostly an advantage to the neutral people.
Yeah.
The people that are good, and the only people that it hurts are evil people. It doesn't really hurt neutral people to be okay with good. But, it's not a problem, though, to just keep it the way it is. We all seem to, as far as our group goes, we can play with or without alignment. No one really seems to care that much. So, yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to say on alignment, Joe? I'm tapped out, baby.
Yeah, I would say I agree with a lot of people's sentiments on here as far as taking alignment out of the game, like a lot of us want to do, is not great for the game.
Right.
Because I think the tendency to do that comes from the tendency to want to make your game more realistic, more like the real world. How about we don't do that? It's a fantasy world. Play with archetypes. Archetypes are definitely aids to play. They are definitely not hindrances. Putting things in boxes helps play, I think, rather than
I think
other way around.
Curveball is fine.
Yeah. But that makes that curveball meaningful.
Yes.
So if every instance of orc in existence has always been a ravening evil savage, a barbarian, any other words that are problematic with regard to orcs, problematic. So until you meet this one orc that doesn't act like the rest of them, that makes that one orc very special. And so that would be the subject. They wouldn't be a PC. That would be an NPC, most likely, that you would have to protect, or it would something about your adventure would revolve around the fact that there's this orc that's actually good. Who knew?
Yeah, and then the players will be like, "That's really weird." I know once in my ADD campaign, I had players befriended a lizard man, though they're neutral, and he became actually a retainer of one of the characters. So, Aaron Wilkerson, I think evil people tend to disguise themselves well. Look at, yeah, the ones that survive a long time should disguise themselves well.
Shadow. So yeah, politicians. Don't get me started.
All right, so we're gonna dedicate this. So we move on. Hey, you want to tell them to do the cool things?
The cool things. The
Put
cool
your,
thing.
put your sweet little banner up too. That's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
get a lot of.
Yeah. This one.
Look at that. Gonna get some money. They're gonna sign up. We can retire.
Every time we do this, we get boatloads of money
Boatloads, just billions and billions of
in our imagination.
fungible tokens.
Fungible tokens.
I hate that word. I literally hate the word fungible.
It's very descriptive though. So yeah, what the audio folks cannot see is a ticker going across the bottom of the screen.
Right, sweet ticker.
Suggesting ways that you can donate to us.
Subliminally.
Yeah, so PayPal, Streamlabs, and Anchor all have ways for you to hand us your bills. Well, not your bills, the thing you pay your bills with, but you want to pay us instead of your bills.
Hand Joe your bills.
Pay us instead of your bills.
You don't need cable. No one needs cable.
For you on audio, there will be links in the description and show notes.
Yes.
I did not get a chance to put these links up in the description for those who are watching. In case you wanted to use them, I can put them up while we're talking here. Otherwise, they will come up after we are done. I have this also to say. Subscribe.
Do it.
If you're not already subscribed, you're listening or watching, subscribe to this YouTube.
Yes.
Like us, share us on your podcatchers, and give us some ratings. Spread the word. Tell people you like us if you do. There's also, do I have? Yes. Wrong thing.
We're not done.
I thought I had just the graphic, but no, I have it on video form. Anyway, at the end there will be the music, the outro music, which is the same as the intro music, and there will be a little graphic that shows all of our links, except the big Geek Emporium.
Right.
The T-shirt, it is still out there. He asked us how it goes. We talked about, I guess we answered his question about coming on the show, so I don't think we need to do anything else with that.
We're in trouble. Max is going to demand royalties every time he sees us subscribe now.
He gave me verbal permission, so.
Verbal. Copyright claim.
A gentleman's agreement.
Joey, no gentleman.
I have been thinking about making our own. I just haven't done it yet.
Right.
Ooh, I'm getting dry. Can you tell?
Yeah, you're dry, man. Hey, did you want to talk about the contest before we?
Yes, let's talk about the contest, and I'll talk a little bit more about.
And we're going to be transitioning into a call-ins here in a minute, but we got a contest of champions.
All right, so I dropped the ball. I was supposed to post something about how folks can enter our contest, but I did not, and that is my fault. So, in the interest of simplicity, so I don't have to do a bunch of extra stuff because I am doing things for the Emporium. We're going to do the old method of giving me your email. And you can do that by going to biggestgeekestpodcast.com/contest, I believe is the link. If it is not, whichever it is, it'll be in the show notes. It's either contest or entry, one of the two. So you will be able to give us your email. I will have you in a big list. Next week, we will look who's in that list, count how many people are there, and roll a dice.
Question, Joe. Interrupt us. Is this something Mar Hawkman asked? Is Joe reading Twitch chat? Do we have it or Twitch. Do we have a Twitch stream going on at the same time?
They both should be coming in here. Okay, more Hoffman. Here you go. Politicians are definitely law. I saw that, and I just kind of glossed over it. Sorry about that. Mar Hoffman, I will try to do better next time. Yes, I am now.
2 different streams at the same time. How are we going to do this?
Very poorly, apparently.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Yeah, we suck at this. I can't about all that crap.
I'm owed. We're going to start needing. We had 23. I saw the number jump up to 23 here.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that. Twitch, there's 2 and 19 over on YouTube. Anyway, so give your email to me. I promise I have no time to make a newsletter, so I won't be bothering you that way yet. But we'll look at that list of email addresses, roll a die randomly, and pick somebody. And we'll do that next.
Show the stuff again. Let me show the stuff that's up.
Go ahead and show the stuff on the screen. Hold on, let me make your face big.
Big face, me. Big face. No, that's you. Big head. Waterhead. Rackham Vale Fantasy Adventure from the Art of Arthur Rackham. Very nice. Really more of an old school adventure. It's a tale based on fairy. It's really brand new, dudes. I bought it and just wasn't for me, but it's pretty cool. A little on the dark side, but it's kind of a fae or fairy based adventure. Generally set up for old school essentials. So basic expert, kind of an old school thing. Now you get to pick one of these if you win. Then we have Traps and Treachery by Legends of Lairs, an old 3.x, I think 3E game. More than 60 complete magical and mechanical traps. Definitely big print for us old people, easy to read. If I can get that up there, my face, not so good. But that's the second option. You get to pick that. And then this thing that nobody wants, Feng Shui 2, action movie role-playing by Robin Laws. I bought it and said, dude, that is not for me. So anyway, that will be what you get to choose from. And a little bonus, which shall not be named, mainly because I have yet to figure out what it is. But I have some groovy stuff that I will give away, some little thing I'll stick in there when I send it to you. Stick it to you. Yeah.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. I did.
That little thing.
Same. Sweet.
All right. So that's the contest.
Sign up.
A slight update or just clarification or whatever with the Emporium. Being I'm the only one working on it, it will one slight delay. Let's see here. YouTube random comment picker. This is what, Max Lau sent us a link to a, I don't know if this is a bot. Is this a bot that you can use? It's a thing you can use to randomly pick a comment out of a YouTube comment list. So we could say, hey, go over to, and this is what they've done in the past, go over to a particular episode, comment, and then then we stick this bot on that particular thing, and it will pick a random comment out of the bunch. Unless is it for live? Is this a live thing? I'm remembering that you guys did it live, but I could be remembering that wrong. Anyway, we might do that in the future. If we decide to do that, we will do that the next live stream, and we will announce it so plenty of people can be here.
Yes.
All right, and that also alleviates any of my concern that we'll give it to somebody who's not listening or not paying attention, or
right.
Maybe the name. We don't know everybody that's listening. We don't know everybody that's watching, and we pick a name someone's put in an email box. It might be just Who knows? Who knows? It might
Right.
not be someone's listening anymore because we've
Right.
got some
Right. I mean, I gave up because we got some old emails. So
old emails. So this will at least be current and folks that are actively supporting us by chatting. So there. We use it live, but for comments on past videos.
Oh, Martinson asked,
Okay.
do you need to re-enter if you've entered before?
No. If we go the email route, you will not need to re-enter. We already have those names. And I haven't used it for nefarious purposes as far as you know.
Right. Where Joe says that we don't know everyone, we actually do. We know everything about you, but we're just not saying it.
Yes. So the Emporium.
Yeah.
Being the only one that's working on it.
I'm working in spirit.
In spirit. As far as the website or code or anything like that, I can do all that stuff, but it takes time since it's not my day-to-day. And Max Bovine, you're Canadian? I'm sorry.
I think I can still send stuff to Canadistan.
Yes.
So you can win, Max.
As long as it's not a handgun, then they'll come and they'll arrest you from your house and burn it down and try to make everybody forget you ever existed.
Right.
So things are going a little slow. Although I had an interesting meeting today. Was that today or yesterday? Yesterday, with a tax man on my route, and he's a sole proprietor of a business, and we're talking about working for yourself and some business concerns, and he was giving me some good advice. So
cool.
Things are going as fast as I can manage. I'm going to try and post up some. Yeah, see, Randy Hoot.
Darth.
So that was some time travel right there.
That was. Mm-hmm.
So I hope to post up some screenshots sometime soon of how some things will look on the site potentially when it goes live. That way you have something to look at and say, oh yeah, I like this, or yeah, I don't like this. I'm going to also put up a contact form on the coming soon page so people can do what they need to do to get in touch with me, tell me I'm high. I know I'm getting a little bit of black pilling from a couple of individuals out there on the interwebs.
Why?
Oh, apparently, I don't know, but they're like, no, it's nothing really bad. It's more like concern trolling. They're like, oh, I don't know. You have to make sure you have a good business plan. Is it viable? Are you doing all the right things?
No,
I don't know.
We're doing all the wrong things. I love it.
I've never owned or run my own business before, so I have no idea. So I'm just doing the things that look like they need to get done that are in front of my face, and that's making the website. I've also contacted a few folks to go out to different live streams or YouTube videos, whatever it'll end up being, so that we can get the word out to a more broad base of people. Because right now, I think I'm just dinging the same people all the time. Like, hey, give me some support. And they're like, I already did. And then the next day, hey, look at our stuff. Give me some support. I already did.
Shut up.
Yeah. So I'm going. Yes, Legion. I'm going to be there Friday. So
I wish I could be there, man.
So
playing D&D.
Just need to. I think I just need to get out there in front of people's faces that aren't, and Twitter as well. Twitter is where I announce everything at, and it flows around other social media platforms as well. But it's the same people all the time, so I need to get in front of different people, or the people that the people that I'm getting in the face of every day. It's not going any farther past them. And if they could maybe change that a little bit and tell their friends, maybe it would be different. But it often stops at it's only so deep. So on Twitter, we have for Biggest Geekus, we have a little over 400 people following us. I don't know how many of those are bots. We got 7 today, 7 new followers today. So
Oh, okay.
how many of them are real? Who knows? But
Yeah.
we'll see how this all works out. So hopefully in the next few days, I'll be able to have some screenshots up there, a contact form, maybe some design goals for people to talk about and suggest and poo-poo on, because that's what people do on the internet. So there you go.
Thurston House got your back, dude. Joe's as reliable as the U.S. Post. He'll make it happen, probably. He can do it, baby.
I can do it, most likely.
Yeah, it'll work.
Probably. Hopefully.
All right.
Perhaps.
Yep.
No, it's going to happen. It's if I can get funded, it'll be faster. If not, it'll be slower.
Yep.
It's a matter of time. That's all.
Okay. Call-ins and emails from past weeks. Do we have emails or just call-ins?
We have call-ins.
All right.
We do have one email.
Oh,
it looks like we might have one more.
Okay.
Ooh. We just got a new subscriber.
All right.
New subscriber to the Listener Drive contest. So I suppose the link I shouted out was the correct one. Yay me. So, JG, I will say, I never know if it's appropriate to say these people's names out loud here on the live stream, because I don't know what's appropriate. So I'll just say we got an email from a listener.
Starts with JG.
Well, initials JG.
Yeah.
Quick question for you regarding Big Geek Emporium. What is the general thrust of the site intended to be? It looks like an online publishing platform, alternative to DriveThruRPG and Lulu. Is that accurate? Yes, that's accurate.
That is accurate.
Thanks in advance for the clarification. And if replying to this email, I believe I replied directly as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Too cumbersome for you because your inbox is filling up. Blah, blah, no problem. Yeah. So he's just thanking in advance for clarification. Yes, this is okay. So as far as being a competitor to DriveThru, that is an ambition.
Right.
It will be an alternative until such a time as we have enough adoption to be considered a competitor.
Right.
So that I don't believe that's going to happen really anytime soon. An actual competitor. It's going to be very difficult because I don't even have the print on demand thing under wraps yet.
Yeah.
Mainly because I took a week trying to figure out who to contact about having the proper account, and it was a whole week wasted because you don't need one. There's an API that you just use in the back end of your website to contact their servers, and things happen automagically. So if I would have paid more attention to the documentation I was looking at, I would have realized that it happens because I am owed.
What about the second email?
The second email was a new listener.
Okay.
Contest entry.
Excellent.
All right, so let me pull up the voicemail. Boom. Episode messages. There's that tab there. And mouse disappears. Share. Click. Too many clicks.
Multi-click.
Multi-click. Let's go down here to here. Okay, our first two are from someone named Timothy Stone.
Cool.
If you are in here tonight, or raise your hand because we'll see that. Otherwise, here we go.
I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing anything, Joe.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I forgot a step. because there's too many freaking steps. You
Too many
stupid.
steps for Joe. Joe hates multi-step.
Too many steps. You need to
Down
make
with
this
steps.
less steps.
Timothy was probably talking really cool too. Probably sound really interesting. I was probably would have been just utterly riveted.
Let's try this again.
Another good Tim.
Woo, woo, woo.
Moving stuff. Come on, dude.
Biggest Geekest, Tim the Caffeinated Grognard, calling you, listening to
The Caffeinated Law Dog?
Grognard, I think he said.
Biggest Geekest, Tim the Caffeinated Grognard, calling
Okay.
you, listening to Stereotypes, Inclusion, and Representation in D&D episode. Love the discussion of White Plume Mountain. I just finished a 5-year campaign that started the Temple of Elemental Evil. Characters went to White Plume Mountain, recovered Black Razor, Wave, and Whelm. Dwarf would never use Whelm because he was terrified of it. Elven Ranger got converted to Pro-Can by Wave. Black Razor was given away, just terrified of using it. Took the characters to Decorah in the Empire Bayous, all the way down to the Rift Canyon. Spent a year under the Rift Canyon for the conclusion of the campaign. Saved the world, changed the world. New campaign 1,000 years later. Relatives of the characters should be awesome. We'll call you back.
Dude, cool campaign.
So Bruce calls him out, the Caffeinated Grognard.
Yeah.
Is that another YouTube channel that we don't know about? Or a podcaster we don't know about? Don't know.
I don't know.
If you're listening, Timothy, let us know if you are
check
out
it out,
there.
man. Check your stuff out. That sounds great.
Procan?
That's a god in Greyhawk world, yes.
Converted him to Procan. Okay.
I believe Procan is a god of the sea.
That makes sense then.
I could be incorrect, though.
Biggest Geekest, Tim the Caffeinated Grognard, calling you back. I was just thinking about that White Plume Mountain segment of my campaign. It was so awesome. Characters encountered the Gynosphinx, answered the riddle. I think I customized it. Gynosphinx transported them back in time to the Battle of Emreedy Fields, where Caraptus, the ancient wizard of White Plume Mountain, actually turned out to be an ancient red dragon. Fear tests, fire, flames, near-death experiences. Oh, it was such a great part of the campaign. Then they ended up in the north in the Empire Bayous. So much goodness. Hey, pro tip: maybe get a Google Voice number. Take a tip from Eric Tenkar. And hey, I'm driving. I won't have to record messages for 1 minute. And watch out for deer at the same time. Bye.
Sweet. Is that what? Yeah. So I know Eric Tenkar does that. Is that still a thing?
Apparently, Google Voice. I've seen other people do it. Let me look at that. Caffeine.
I couldn't find it. I could not find it initially.
Grognard.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Okay. So I put in Google Caffeinated Grognard. The top result was Black Rifle Coffee.
Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe he doesn't have a channel. So if not, he should, because he seems pretty pumped and his campaign sounds like fun. A lot of old school goodness. Yeah, Tim, that's cool.
Greyhawk Grognard. Anyway.
I like the take on Caraptus. I like him as a red dragon. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think maybe we're taking it to literally. Maybe he's just a grognard and he happens to be caffeinated.
He could just be caffeinated. Sounds like he's got a good group of guys having fun. Tim, thanks for calling in. Keep doing.
Those old modules.
They're good, dude.
They're good, and they're so. Oh, hey, Kill Raven, have a good one.
Peace out, bro.
They spawn such crazy stories. I think they're much more interesting than you get out of today's modules, in my opinion. But that might just
so much room. They don't like in an adventure path, like a Paizo module. Everything's so detailed. Yeah, I think there's something beautiful about those old modules.
Yep. Okay, next up is Clerics Wear Ring Mail. Taylor.
Talking about fighting nostalgia, having a family who supports that fight is absolutely essential. I'm so very fortunate that my wife and children, they help me out by spending all of the spare money that we have, and so I don't have enough to afford any of the nostalgia bait. So my nostalgia spending, $0. Yep, hit the nail on the head.
Jealous. Well done, Taylor.
Some of these are coming from a few weeks ago. It took us some, actually, all of these, or at least most of them, were from before you took off on me.
Oh yeah, before I bailed on you. Can't
Baylor.
believe you found me. I can't believe you found me. But yeah, Taylor, you lucky.
Baylor.
3 childrens and a wife. Take that money.
All of it.
Yeah.
Next up is John Allen Large from the Red Dice Diaries.
Cool.
Hey there guys, it's John here from the Red Dice Diaries. Well, it seemed like no sooner had I sent you a message saying, I'm getting back to podcasting, I'm dropping some anchor messages and stuff like that, then I got a new job, which means I'm in the office a little bit more, and when I'm working from home, I'm in more meetings and calls and stuff like that, which is
Excuses. That's all we hear. I get it though. I'm a lot more busy now too.
is really putting a severe crimp on my ability to listen to podcast episodes. And when I'm not during my working day, like in my spare time, I'm normally trying to desperately record my own podcast episodes, so I don't get much chance to listen. And in fact, I'm only just catching up on your episode from May about game spaces. But yeah, I would still love to appear on your show sometime. So hit me up in Discord or something like that, and we'll see if we can sort that out and make that happen.
That would be great. We need to do that.
We do. We've got to get John on. He'd be fun.
One way or the other, either we appear over on his
Yes.
channel or whatever. However we can do that.
How do we make it happen, man? Yeah. Let's do
Make
it.
it so.
Make it so, number one.
And I've also got a couple of LARP events coming up for a couple of weekends in August. So obviously I'm going to be off on the Friday then and sort of finishing work on the Thursday. So I'm hoping, if you guys are sort of broadcasting then, I might be able to slide into the live broadcast. Maybe get myself like an energy drink or a strong cup of coffee or something to keep myself awake. But hoping I can make a couple of your live broadcasts in August. Anyway, keep up the good work, guys. I'm going to try and get through your next few episodes now and probably drop you some anchor messages as well. Keep it up, guys. Great work. Catch you soon.
We look forward to you sliding it in.
Yep. That was for Bruce. Those that are listening don't know what I did, and I'm not telling.
Hey guys, John here, listening to your Cultivating a Gaming Group episode. And yeah, I've got to say, in the groups I'm in, we normally spend a bit of time before the actual session starts, so maybe half an hour to an hour or whatever, bitching about the day's affairs and like what a crap day we've had at work and stuff like that. But as you say, once the actual game, to be honest, we'll probably go on for a little bit too long sometimes, but once the actual game starts, then we're in the game. So we generally try and sort of allocate or take into account, there's going to be about half an hour of like people catching up with each other and like chatting, because certainly the groups I'm in, we don't really see a lot of each other outside of gaming. So, you just like to catch up and like chew the fat and shoot the breeze and whatever other phrase is I can't think of at the moment. But once you're in the game, you're in it. Couldn't agree more. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the episode, guys. Catch you in a bit.
Yeah, dude. So don't you wish... I think I'm guilty of it, but I wish we got... Do you think we should get into... We don't get into the game fast enough when we get together, do we, Joe?
It's so hard. When we have a good, great group of folks, and we could get a game at almost any time.
Yes.
But it's hard to get a game when you have a lot going on in your own life. So when sometimes it seems infrequent, and we want to catch up.
No, that's what I'm saying. It seems infrequent with a certain number of people, and you're like, jabber, jabber, jabber. I wish we could keep it to 30 minutes. Now, we did better when our campaigns were rolling. because we were meeting every
Yes.
week, every 2 weeks. That was a little easier. So
Yes.
every week would be better. I think 2 weeks is too much time. Too much crap happens in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey there, guys, it's Johnny from the Red Dice Diaries. Just listening to your Cultivating a Game Group episode, just finishing it off. And with regards to the question you were asking at the end of it, do you ever see yourself stopping playing role-playing games? I would say no, to be honest. I mean, if I'm lucky enough to make it to retirement, you'll have to be about a gazillion years old by the time I get there. Then I think I'll finally actually, maybe, if I've got all my marbles, have the time to do all the gaming I would actually like to do. At least that's what I tell myself. Gives me something to look forward to. Anyway, take it easy, guys. I'll catch you soon.
It is a good thing to tell yourself.
Yes.
As long as
Yes.
I'm not feeble, baby, we rolling dice.
Yes. And thank you so much, John. Moving on to someone we haven't heard from in a while.
Oh,
Hey, Joe, Jason here. I agree that it would be great to have a solid competitor to drive through. There are a number of other alternatives out there, but none that offer the scope and the services to drive through, or one bookshelf, we should say, because it's a number of different services, right? So nobody is really on par with them, and it would be nice to have a solid competitor. I agree with you on the free speech aspect. I'd like to see a service that, although, I mean, potentially could have some kerfuffles, but I would like to see something more opened up, as long as it's not advertising, criminal activity. I don't see a reason not to put the stuff up. But again, like you say, it's not a First Amendment. It's, whatever their company policy is, they have to find somebody willing to run a company like that.
dude, was that Jason from Nerds?
That was Jason from Nerds Variety RPG
Podcast.
podcast. Yes.
Podcast. Dude, he's legendary. He was back with us in the early days when we first started.
Yes.
He's a man. Does he have more than one?
He has 3.
Ooh,
Though the last one's very short. So
right.
if you next time you listen, Jason, if you're hearing this one,
yes, we love
and you want me to come on, or me and Randy to come on and talk more about the Big Geek Emporium, we will gladly do so.
Cool.
Still, there's no doubt that I've had discussions with some game designers, and there is a chilling effect by their activities, One Bookshelf's activities, and republicizing this, because people are worried about what content they put in their games now, and I think it's going to stifle creativity, and I think that's a bad thing. So that's definitely a trickle down effect to this. Is creators they're going to play things safe, and they're more worried about what they put in their games. The other thing you didn't mention that's in their product stuff that's bothersome to me is that you can't have a product on their website that's also offered on different website with different content. So if you have something that's offensive to them, you can't leave that added the drive-through version of the PDF and publish a full version PDF somewhere else. That violates their content or violates their agreement as well, which is kind of shitty.
Yeah. He has 1 10-second one left, so hold on.
Anyhow, I think it was a good, concise episode. Thank you, and keep doing what you do.
Sweet.
Yeah. So they have various nefarious business practices over there, the least of which is that they hate money. So they hate money in that they're not content with being a neutral platform and saying, yeah, publish your stuff here, we'll take your money, we'll help you get some money, and we'll stay out of it. They're not content with doing that. They got to put their nose into other people's they got to put their nose into it and say, you have to conform. And people don't like that.
Joe's not a conformist.
Well, here's the other thing. I've heard people say, well, people can just put up their own website and sell their own stuff. And there are a few people that do that, but not everybody has the time or talent, or, well, it's not talent, but it's time or temperament or willingness. It's very easy just to put your stuff up on a place like Drive-Thru and have them manage everything else. All you have to do is create and post. Create and post. It's very simple. The business end it makes the business end simple. The creation end isn't very simple, but that's probably why a lot of people don't want to deal with the business end.
On a side note, Bruce asked us to. I'm trying to post the link to the Anchor site where they can chat to us. He asked about that. We can call in and talk, but I can't get it to. I'm trying to post, but I can't get it to show up. So, can you do that, or you me to post it in the private chat or something? Can you share it?
I can do that. Anchor.fm.
Yep.
/ biggest geekus.
Yeah, I tried to put it on there, but just could not do it. Okay, there you go. That's where you can call in and hear the dulcet tones of Bruce Lombardo from.
I have to do something about this. I sent the message here, and I saw that my noggin froze.
What?
Just from sending a freaking comment in.
Tell them no. Unacceptable.
Well, okay. The computer I'm using is a 1 gigahertz computer.
Okay.
It's about 7 years old.
Oh.
Your average computer right now you could buy for like $500 or $600 is a 4 gigahertz.
You got to get you upgraded, bro.
Got to get it upgraded because I'm tired of that. And yeah. Anyway.
Before we book out of here, I have one more thing. I don't know if anybody watched. Oh, sorry.
I want to say thank you to all of the callers.
Yeah.
And sorry it took us so long to get the backlog flushed out, but we finally did. And I don't know. Maybe we should start doing it like that anyway.
Maybe we should. And it was
really,
yeah, and it was good to hear from Tim Stone, a new guy, and Jason from Nerds RPG. We hadn't heard him for a while, so it was good to hear from those guys. And of course, John and Taylor holding up their end of the bargain. Not that we have one, but they're being good roadies here in this whole deal.
Right.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's awesome.
Yes. But I'm also going to say that if I seem to not listen to your podcast or watch your live stream or YouTube videos, it is only because I'm a busy dude, and I will try to do better. I will do better. I will do the work.
I listen, but I don't always comment. I need to comment more. I'm going to turn that. I used to be pretty big at that. So, admin Randy?
No.
Joe,
I will never. It's not that I hate giving up control. It's just that I'm not going to give that particular control to this dude. What am I doing?
Oh, what did that happen? That's weird. Oh, Joe, I can't really think that.
The website's gone. The whole website's gone.
What?
What happened?
I did not touch it. Oh, dude. Your boy Shadiversity. Did you see his YouTube this week?
Where he's getting cornholed by YouTube.
Yeah, what is the deal with that?
I didn't get a chance to watch it. That's another thing. I saw that. I was like, maybe I should watch that. And then I'm like, I got to work on stuff.
You should watch that. And then there's something that the pundit posted about a comment. He didn't. A lot of folks after he posted, I need to finish watching it, but it was about the Radiant Citadel release, the new WotC book for 5e. Something about them telling you that it's okay to play NPCs of different colors and different backgrounds and stuff. And it's like, why are you telling me it's okay? Like, but I don't know how much that's his.
But it also says, but you really should do it right. So in so many words, it's he posted a picture of it on Twitter, and it's just, we give you permission to do these things as long as you do it correctly.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. I hope this next edition of D&D that 2024 comes out is the worst received. I hope it's 10 times worse than 4th edition. I hope it's an utter failure, and I hope it's so bad that nobody even plays it hardly at all. It won't be that way, but I'd love to see it to be an ultimate failure where Hasbro's like, holy crap, what happened? Nothing could make me happier than to see D&D utterly fail.
They're giving it so much mass appeal that it's no longer the thing that it was, and there will be more people playing it.
I don't know
I
how,
think.
but I know that the DM, what's his name, the one you find annoying that I listen
Professor
to,
DM.
Professor DM, yeah, he can be that way. But he made a comment. He goes, apparently they're talking about getting rid of the short and long rest, which we
Imagine that.
yeah, it doesn't really. It makes the characters almost undefeatable. Duh.
Imagine that.
Yeah, crazy.
Should go back to the old way of just saying per day, and then letting the DM do what he does for per day.
Right.
And and if you have a DM like Randy, he'll say, you didn't rest that well last night, so you don't get your spells back.
Guilty.
Mhm.
I've done that to Joe.
There was a storm, and you tossed and turned all night. You had indigestion from the beans you ate from the tavern. You just didn't get good rest. Sorry about your luck.
Okay, Malachi says, I think this is in reference to WotC. Help me out, Malachi. That part of the new book is under public and online games. I don't know if they're hiding it or not. Oh, okay. So it's not in the actual book, because some folks in the comments were kind of telling Pundit, hey, let me see some sources.
Well, he posted a picture. I don't know where the picture came from.
Okay. And Bruce says, I would love to see a third party. I'm with you. Revolution. Have people go to smaller games, older editions, just embrace so many different games and make the crowd just enjoy a game thing.
So what do you guys, with all this said,
Yeah.
some suggestions about the Big Geek Emporium were that it have a crowdfunding piece, that it promote good content, as in crappy content doesn't get posted. I don't really want to get into that, because we would be a publisher, and we're not a publisher. We're a platform. Right. Every person who puts their own stuff on, they are the publisher.
Right.
Self-publisher. So what do you guys think about that kind of stuff? If you guys have any suggestions for features, let us know. Comment.
Because I'm not.
One thing I think that they're doing, that Megacorps do, is they do lots of mergers and acquisitions and grow big, 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 big. And then they lose whatever they were from the start somehow. So Drive-Thru RPG now has merged with Roll20, and they do all kinds of stuff. I think leaving Big Geek Emporium a marketplace where people can get and sell gameware, whatever that might be. When we might expand outside of game PDFs and print books when we get to that, but all the other having a I don't think crowdfunding is a good idea, and I don't think having a VTT is a good idea either. Not saying anything bad about VTTs, but we would definitely be okay with letting people sell their VTT ware, like maps that are compatible with whatever, modules that are set up to just be loaded in to a VTT seamlessly, that kind of stuff. But in the same vein, we could even house STL files for 3D printers for game material, because why not? It's just a file. So anything like that is fine, but merging with another, it's related, but it's not the same kind of thing. A VTT or a crowdfunding platform, I don't know. But I would appreciate some feedback. If people can make a good case for it, then maybe.
Oh, David Giles says once it's ready for PDFs, he's all in. Awesome, David. I've got to buy your stuff anyway, dude. That's been on the back burner.
I'm pretty sure we're probably going to launch PDF only because it's going to require some programming that I'm going to have to learn, or find someone that will do it.
Right. Cool. Well.
Oh yeah, Sean. VTT is not needed for a storefront. Selling VTTs would be okay. Selling material for a VTT would be fine. We don't need to be associated with a particular one. We would be fine with selling for everyone.
Correct.
Which means more money.
Well, yeah, I mean,
for everyone.
If you're going to be a businessman, do it. We're going to be business dudes. Joe wants to make money. I want to make money. I want you guys to make money and make stuff. I mean, dang it.
If we associate with one particular VTT, then we hate money.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't hate money. Yeah, I don't see us. And Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't see us becoming, if we ever got big, I think we would do exclusive crap with people like Drive-Thru does.
I don't care about exclusive.
Me neither.
No, this is what I would, I've thought about exclusive and what it means, what it would mean for the store. The only way exclusive works is if we offer something that's worthwhile.
Right.
But I don't see how we'd have to be much bigger platform down the road. Right now, exclusive would mean
we have to have something to offer them. Yeah, that can make it worth their while. Yeah.
Still, it wouldn't be worth it to them.
No.
Even if we offered them half off on or free.
Right.
No charges. It wouldn't be worth it because we're not going to have the reach that Drive-Thru has.
Right.
And we may never. So exclusive with us is probably
until after VentureCon.
Okay. After VentureCon, we'll be bigger than Drive-Thru RPG. You heard it here first. Randy has prognosticated it shall be.
Right. All right. You ready to get the heck out of here, Joseph?
Yes. I am very tired. I'm sure everybody can tell.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. If you'd like to support our show, please like, subscribe, do all the things. We're on the socials, of course, video podcast. We talked about the support already. Joe's little cool scrolly thing, PayPal. PayPal.me/biggestgeekus. I can drop us a little cash. Streamlabs and Anchor. Joe will have those links posted on the web. You can find us at biggestgeekuspodcast.com, and the geeks at biggestpodcast.com is our email. What does Darth have? 358 gigs.
First, we'll do the first thing first.
Wow.
From Mar Hockman. Like, subscribe, obey. You will obey. You will obey.
Dude.
But Darth says, I have 35 gigs. I have a 35 gig file of gamebook PDFs. Trust me, I will gladly change storefronts.
Dude.
That's two people on this stream alone that have said they will go to our store.
We love that.
Yes.
Well, man, guess that's it. This is Randy.
And this is Joe,
And
who's
remember,
desperately trying to hurry up and get to where he needs to be. All right.
Remember, can be big like us and be geeks like us. And see us at Venture.
Do that again. Do that again.
See us at VentureCon. Woo!
VentureCon. Woo.
Sweet adventure, baby. I'm gonna run it.
That's the wrong one. That's still. I'm tired. I'm really tired.
No, you can do it, man. We can get out of here. I think we can.
We can get out of here. Hold on.
Go.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. We're gonna get out of here. For some reason, there it is. I had to make that disappear. We can do this.